Greetings and welcome to the third installment of the Golden Drake Studios FOSS Gaming Extravaganza. FOSS once again standing for free and open source software, and our FOSS game of the day this time is none other than Hack. And if you're not familiar with Hack, you may have one of two questions running through your mind right now. One of those might be, is this related to NetHack? Yes, it is. This is the predecessor to NetHack, which is a very popular roguelike. If you're not familiar with either Hack or NetHack, you may instead be wondering, is this about some kind of sci-fi setting where you're hacking into networks and whatnot? No, it is not. This is just a relatively typical roguelike. It's mostly a fantasy setting. The word hack was probably chosen because of its original meaning, referring to code or a coding style that's kind of crude. The original programmers, they were a handful of high school students in Massachusetts. Back in 1982, they created the initial version of Hack, but that was never publicly released, at least not in any major way. But there was a major public release in 1984 of an extended version of Hack by a Dutch programmer, and he created the last stable release in 1985. So that's the version we'll be playing today, version 1.0.3. First things first, we need to install this game. If you're in any Arch-based environment, you could of course do a little Pac-Man search for Hack, but that is not going to help you at all. This game is included in some collections of BSD games. So if we do a search for BSD games, we see there is in the extra repositories a BSD-games package, a Linux port of the collection of BSD command line games. Now, BSD stands for Berkeley Software Distribution, a variant of Unix, which still has some derivatives that are somewhat popular today. OpenBSD, NetBSD, I think there's also Dragonfly BSD and a few other variants. Oh, and in fact, Darwin, which is the core of macOS. So anyway, that's where this BSD term comes from. BSD was originally developed at the University of California, Berkeley, as you may have assumed. Setting all that aside, these games that were made a long time ago are still included in many BSD-based and Linux distributions. However, there is a set of those BSD games that are sometimes referred to as a junk pile that are not always included in collections of BSD games, and that is the case for Arch Linux, so we will have to extend our search to the AUR, the Arch User Repository. So I'm going to use Yay, my AUR helper, and if we search for BSD games again, now we also see BSD games 2. Junk pile included. So that's the one we want, that's the one that's going to include Hack. So we'll just fast forward through this process. Okay, now that we have Hack installed, we could run it by simply typing Hack. Now I like to use the -u command to provide a username, and how do I know about that? Well, there is a man page or manual page for Hack. There actually is one for Rogue as well, which unfortunately I did not show off back when I was showcasing Rogue. Oh, but we don't have that installed at the moment, so that's a little embarrassing. But anyway, there is a manual page for Rogue if you have that installed. But let's go ahead and take a look at the manual page for Hack, Exploring the Dungeons of Doom. So they borrowed that sort of subtitle from the original Rogue, and there's some interesting tidbits here. It says, Hack is a display-oriented Dungeons & Dragons-like game. Both display and command structure resemble Rogue. For a game with the same structure but entirely different display, a real cave instead of dull rectangles, try Quest. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not sure what Quest game they're referring to there. But anyway, we're not going to read all of this right now. They do talk about how to win the game, as opposed to merely playing to beat other players' high scores. You must locate the Amulet of Yendor, which is somewhere below the 20th level of the dungeon, and get it out. Nobody has achieved this yet, they say, and if somebody does, He will probably go down in history as a hero among heroes. So obviously this stuff was written very early in the public availability of this game. Anyway, they provide some more details here, some of which may be of interest to some of you. And as they mention here, the -U player name option supplies an answer to the question, who are you? Bugs. Probably infinite. Mail complaints to whatever the heck this is. Anyway, well, this dates back to 1985. The last release of this game was in, I think it was July 23rd of 1985. So pretty soon, this year in 2025, we will be coming up on the 40-year anniversary of the last stable release of Hack. But enough about all that. Let's go ahead and create our first character with the name Keef Girgo. That is a Star Wars Andor reference. Why am I going with that? That will become clear in a moment. Are you an experienced player? If you say no, then the game will automatically generate a character for you, which basically just means choosing a class for you. We'll say, yes, we're experienced. Tell me what kind of character you are. Are you a tourist, a speleologist, a fighter, a knight, a caveman, or a wizard? This is kind of a strange collection of classes. The term speleologist refers to a scientist or scholar who studies caves. So the inclusion of that along with caveman is rather amusing, but I'm especially amused by the inclusion of tourist. You know, how often in a game do you think, yeah, I really want to play as a tourist? It's very interesting, and it puts me in mind of the main character in Star Wars Andor, who takes on the name Keef Girgo when he wants to live out the remainder of his days as a tourist on the planet Niemos.
I'm a tourist.
Tourists don't run.
But I'm not running. I'm just a tourist. Wait! I'm just a tourist!
So in honor of Cassian Andor's alias as Keef Girgo, we will press the letter T to be a tourist. Hello, Keef Girgo. Welcome to Hack. Be careful. New moon tonight. Wow. I don't think I've noticed that message before. I wonder, is it really keeping track of moon phases, and does that make a difference in the game? I know that's the case for some of the early Ultima games. That could be for this one as well. I have no idea. But in any case, we once again see an @ symbol for our character. We have a lowercase d next to us. Now, what is that? That is one of the most fun innovations of this game. Now, we can press the / key to ask a question about any character that we see in the game. So let's type lowercase d, and it tells us that is a dog. That is our pet dog, an adorable and helpful companion in our adventures. So if we move around, we'll see that the dog also moves around with us. Now we can pick up that $sign, that's a pile of gold, 19 gold pieces. We also see the less than sign, which is a stairway back up. We could go up those stairs to end the game, but of course we don't want to do that yet. Now the dog, you want to be careful because if you move into the dog, that will be interpreted as an attack. So, if you're a dog lover especially, you want to be very careful that you don't accidentally attack your poor pet dog. But let's open this door, go into this corridor. Everything we're seeing here is pretty familiar for players of any text-based roguelike. Now we have some question marks, which are scrolls. There's a scroll labeled Thar here, but you cannot carry any more. I can't carry any more? Well, let's look at our inventory. So we press the letter I. We have 4 food rations, 2 fortune cookies, 3 tripe rations, 2 tins. And so those have additional food, a candy bar, a dead lizard, 2 ruby potions, an expensive camera, and 30 plus 2 darts. That's our weapon in hand. As you can see from everything listed here, this game is not 100% fantasy. It does have a little bit of modern elements, such as a camera. And also, this is a game that has a little bit of a sense of humor, okay? More so than perhaps the original Rogue and other early roguelikes, such as Moria. There are some darts here. Now, if we want to be able to carry more, we better drop some things. So I'm going to type D. What do we want to drop? Well, I don't think we want to carry a dead lizard. Let's drop that. And in fact, I bet the dog will eat it up. Possibly. Maybe not. The dog is not interested. Sometimes the dog will eat corpses that are lying about. Okay, we still can't carry anymore. Interesting. Well, let's eat the candy bar. The candy bar was delicious. We still can't carry anymore. So we have an Elam Ebo scroll, a Thar scroll, and then down there. Oh, and if the dog is in your way, you can press period to just rest, or you could always press the S key to search for a little while, and then the dog will move around. You can only carry some of the 11 darts lying here. Okay. So anyway, we're not a very strong character, so we can't carry too much, and we already have quite a bit in our inventory. That is going to be a slight annoyance for a while. Once we get hungry, we're going to eat more food, so that should increase our available inventory. I was searching for a while there and finally found a secret passage going further west. Let's see what we can find off in this direction. We have another room. And so far, the controls, oh my, we have a floating eye. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what the controls are, we could press, instead of the /, we could hold shift when pressing that key to hit a question mark character, and then we can get long or short help. Let's look at the long help. Welcome to Hack. Description of version 1.0.3. Hack is a Dungeons & Dragons-like game where you, the adventurer, descend into the depths of the dungeon in search of the Amulet of Yendor, reputed to be hidden on the 20th level. You are accompanied by a little dog that can help you in many ways and can be trained to do all sorts of things. I don't know how to train it, I'm not sure what it's referring to there. On the way, you will find useful or useless items, quite possibly with magic properties, and assorted monsters. You attack a monster by trying to move into the space a monster is in, but often it is much wiser to leave it alone. Unlike most adventure games, which give you a verbal description of your location, Hack gives you a visual image of the dungeon level you are on. Of course, a comment like that really speaks to the time period this game came out of. There were a lot of popular text adventure games back then. Hack uses the following symbols. The letters A to Z, uppercase and lowercase, refer to monsters. And as I already described, you can find out what a letter represents by typing / and then whatever letter you're interested in. Okay. So we know about the floors, walls, corridors, staircases. If we see that tick mark, our back tick, it's sometimes called, that refers to a large boulder. Now, next to the @ symbol, it says U, usually. That's because the @ symbol can also be used by other humans, like NPCs, such as shop owners, because shops do occasionally show up in this game. That's another of its innovations over the original Rogue. The caret symbol is a trap. Then we have weapons, other useful objects, suits of armor, pieces of food or corpses, wands, rings, scrolls, magic potions, piles or pots of gold, and then we have these various commands. Okay. Movement is only handled through the Vim-style controls, so you do have to kind of get used to that. You can't use the numpad or arrow keys in this game, so you have to use H, J, K, L, etc. for moving in various directions. If you want to move without picking up, you can use M. Anyway, I'm not going to read all of this, but you can read more at your leisure. This is one of the slightly unfortunate things about these old roguelikes is it does require a little bit of homework, okay, a little bit of study time to really get familiar with everything you can do in the game. As you can see there, lowercase p for paying your shopping bill, so there's a little reference to the stores that are available. And you can call things names, you can engrave messages in the dust on the floor. It's a little bit funny because if you're writing a message in the dust, I'm not sure how much that's really engraving, but well, maybe when you use a tool instead of just your fingers, then it does actually engrave more permanently. We'll look at that later on, perhaps. In any case, as it says here, at present, some information is displayed on the bottom line. It is expected that this information will go away in future versions. Well, that didn't happen. You see on what dungeon level you are, how many hit points you have now and will have when fully recovered, what your armor class is, the lower the better, your strength, experience level, and the state of your stomach. Have fun and good hacking. Okay, well, what are we going to do about this floating eye? They can be very dangerous, and we have a dog behind us, so we're kind of trapped. I don't want to move back into the dog, so I'm going to just wait and hope the eye doesn't attack me. Sure enough, it gave me a chance to walk away, and then we have to wait now and then for the dog to get out of the way. The reason why we sometimes don't see the dog at all is because we can't see as far in these dark corridors. Anyway, here we are. There is another floating eye. The dog is fighting it and it missed. We will help the dog fight this thing. Oh, the dog already killed it. Well, good job, dog. The dog really is a nice... It fell asleep, but apparently it woke up again. Okay, whatever. Let's move on. Not much to see here. There could always be secret doors and secret traps in any location that we're in. We have a secret door here. The letter L. Let's type /L, a leprechaun. More info. Sometimes you will see the option for more info, and these can be interesting. If we type Y for yes, this one's a bit long, so bear with me. The Irish leprechaun is the fairies' shoemaker and is known under various names in different parts of Ireland. Cluricon in Cork, Lyricon in Kerry, Lyricene in Kildare, and Lyrigidon in Tipperary. My apologies for any bad pronunciation on my part. Although he works for the fairies, the leprechaun is not of the same species. He is small, has dark skin, wears strange clothes. His nature has something of the manic depressive about it. First he is quite happy, whistling merrily as he nails a sole onto a shoe. A few minutes later he is sullen and morose, drunk on his homemade heather ale. The leprechaun's two great loves are tobacco and whiskey, and he is a first-rate con man, impossible to outfox. No one, no matter how clever, has ever managed to cheat him out of his hidden pot of gold or his magic shilling. At the last minute, he always thinks of some way to divert his captor's attention and vanishes in the twinkling of an eye. This is from A Field Guide to the Little People by Nancy Arrowsmith and George Morse. So that's kind of fun. They provide some interesting tidbits from the folklore of various lands. There is a tin here, but you cannot carry anymore. Well, let's eat from one of our... Whoops. That was weird. Let's eat from one of our tins here. It is not so easy to open this tin. You succeed in opening the tin. It contains spinach that makes you feel like Popeye. Fantastic. So we might be stronger for a while. And we were able to pick up a tin since we got rid of that one. Now I'm leaving the leprechaun alone, which I recommend. If the leprechaun attacks you, he may also steal your gold, and I just don't want to deal with that right now. We do have a stairway leading down. Let's go ahead and let's take that. There's a gnome here that's hitting us. Let's look at some info about gnomes. And then a gnome came by carrying a bundle, an old fellow 3 times as large as an imp, and wearing clothes of a sort, especially a hat. And he was clearly just as frightened as the imps, though he could not go so fast. Ramon Alonso saw that there must be some great trouble that was vexing magical things, and since gnomes speak the language of men, and will answer if spoken to gently, he raised his hat and asked of the gnome his name. The gnome did not stop his hasty shuffle a moment as he answered, Alababa, and grabbed the rim of his hat, but forgot to doff it. What is the trouble, Alababa? Said Ramon Alonso. White magic. Run, said the gnome. This is from The Charwoman's Shadow by Lord Dunsany. Okay, well, I'm going to, I sort of retreated a little bit there because I wanted to give the dog a chance to help me in this combat. You miss the gnome, the little dog misses the gnome misses. A lot of missing going on. The gnome hit us, our HP has gone down to 7. We'll continue fighting here for a little while. The gnome misses, okay. Oh boy. Oh boy, we're down to 3 HP. I think we should quaff a potion. We feel much better. Okay, luckily that was a healing potion. I see a letter I entering the room. That is an imp. So that's not good. We might be facing 2 enemies at once pretty soon. We destroyed the gnome and the little dog ate a dead gnome. Okay. Picked up a purple potion. Let's attack this imp. The imp hits. Well, what if we want some info about imps? Little creatures of 2 feet high that could gamble and jump prodigiously. Again, from The Charwoman's Shadow by Lord Dunsany. Okay. Let's continue this combat. We're down to 2 HP. Better quaff another potion. We feel much better. Okay. Down to 5 HP. Down to 3 HP. Let's quaff another potion. Why do I keep saying quaff? Well, because we use the letter Q, which stands for quaff, an old-fashioned word for drinking. Yuck, this stuff tastes like poison. That is not good at all. We have been killed. Rest in peace, Keef Girgo. Oh, we knew you but briefly, Keef Girgo. Killed by a contaminated potion in the year 2025. We had 432 gold to our name. And there we are. We have our first entry in our top 10 ranking of hack characters. Keef Gur-T. The T stands for tourist, as it says up there. Goodbye, tourist Keef Girgo. You died on dungeon level 2 with 136 points and 432 pieces of gold after 323 moves. You were level 1 with a maximum of 14 hit points when you died. You made the top 10 list. Well, of course we did. We are the first entry in the top 10 list. Anyway, let's go ahead and create a new character. Perhaps not a tourist this time. Let's go ahead and have a knightly character named Aragorn. K for knight. Hello Aragorn, welcome to Hack. Be careful, new moon tonight. I wonder what effect that new moon has. We have a kobold that's already engaging with our dog in combat. We have destroyed the kobold. Enemies don't always leave corpses. But in this case they did. We've picked it up. The dog was not interested. We're not so interested either. So we will drop the dead kobold. We have a capital H for Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin, used by the Puritans and in later times for wicked goblin spirits, as in Bunyan's Hobgoblin or Foul Friend, but its more correct use is for the friendly spirits of the brownie type. In A Midsummer Night's Dream, a fairy says to Shakespeare's Puck, "Those that hobgoblin call you, and sweet Puck, you do their work, and they shall have good luck. Are you not he?" And obviously Puck would not wish to be called a hobgoblin, if that was an ill-omened word. Hobgoblins are, on the whole, good-humored and ready to be helpful, but fond of practical joking, and like most of the fairies, rather nasty people to annoy. Boggarts hover on the verge of hobgoblindom. Bogles are just over the edge. One hob mentioned by Henderson was Hob Headless, who haunted the road between Herworth and Neesham, but could not cross the little river Kent, which flowed into the Tess. He was exorcised and laid under a large stone by the roadside for 99 years and a day. If anyone was so unwary as to sit on that stone, he would be unable to quit it forever. The 99 years is nearly up, so trouble may soon be heard of on the road between Herworth and Neesham. Catherine Briggs, A Dictionary of Fairies. Okay, I wonder if they have anything about kobolds. No, they do not. Okay. So, anywho, let's take care of this hobgoblin, if we may. Our little dog was killed. How dare you. We need to finish off this hobgoblin. By the way, let's look at our inventory. We are wielding a long sword. We also have a spear, which seems to have a +2 enchantment, so that might be superior. Wonder why we're not auto-equipped to that instead. Anyway, we also have a +1 ring mail, helmet and shield, and a pair of gloves. Let's wield the spear. We have taken care of the hobgoblin, finally. Now, this is a bit morbid, but we can go down and we could pick up the dead dog if we had room to carry more, but we already have a lot of heavy items that we're wearing, so we can't carry too much stuff. Anyway, we will miss you, Dogmeat, or whatever your name is. Dogmeat, of course, being the classic Fallout dog. We have some secret doors here. 7 gold pieces. We have a rat. A giant rat. Taking care of that. Probably have a secret door here, or a secret passage. But so far, we are searching in vain. So whatever, we'll move on. Drop the dead giant rat. It's kind of funny that you always have that option to carry corpses if you want. I'm not sure if that's for the purpose of eating them if you want to, like if you're really desperate for food, I don't know. You try to move the enormous rock, but in vain. So yeah, we have a boulder in front of us, represented by that backtick. We have a hobgoblin. Picked up a yellowish-brown gem, dropped by the hobgoblin. Let's search over here some more. We still see nothing along this path. Leprechaun, please leave us alone. Thank you. We'll go, oh boy. Letter A stands for acid blob. No thanks. Got around the acid blob, thankfully. Leprechaun again. We have stairs leading down. So we'll go deeper. By the way, when you get down below a certain depth, there's a region that's called Hell, and you must have some kind of item of fire resistance, or you automatically die as you enter. I read about that. I've never actually gone that far. I have tried playing this game a number of times, and it really is challenging, so I've never made it very far. We killed a gnome. Let's drop the dead gnome. We see no doors out of here, so I'm going to search around for secret doors. There must be secret doors. Oh! The gnome revealed one of the secret doors. Now, if we don't want to pick up the corpse, we can type M and then move. Then we don't pick it up. Okay. So we continue exploring. Don't want to mess with the acid blob. Oh, there's a capital O for orc. Let's descend deeper. We haven't come across any shops yet. I think there might be some other unique rooms that can appear, such as vaults or graveyards. I read something about that, but I've never encountered that. Hopefully we will be so lucky. Probably have a secret door there. Yes, indeed. Hello, Leprechaun. Please leave us alone. Thank you. Let's do some more searching for secret doors. Ah, yes. Capital A, a giant ant. I feel weaker from the giant ant's attack. Welcome to experience level 3. Great. As you have noticed, there isn't a lot of deep character creation, not as much as there is in the game Moria. And going along with that, I don't think there are a lot of stats other than, as we see, we have armor class and strength. I'm not sure if there's more hidden that's invisible to us. I'm not certain about that. But some items will have different effects depending on your class. I do know that much. Capital Z is a zombie. Okay, we're facing 2 enemies at once. This could be bad. Oh, we killed the zombie. Killed the ant. Welcome to experience level 4. Beautiful. Whoops. I think we picked up an ebony potion. Okay, cool. Continue exploring for a while. So, I mentioned that you can come across stores, shops in this game. But they will just be random parts of dungeon levels. So that's a big difference between this and Moria, where Moria has you starting in a town area with multiple shops. So this doesn't have anything quite like that. It's a different approach. Which you prefer will depend on your taste. We are hungry. You can hit Control P to see your most recent message. We're beginning to feel hungry, it says. If we look at our inventory, we do have a fortune cookie. So that fortune cookie was delicious. It has a scrap of paper inside. It reads, "Don't forget, large dogs are much harder to kill than little dogs." Okay. All right, thank you. So that little fortune cookie will stave off our hunger for a little while. We have a capital J, which is a jackal. We destroyed the jackal. Let's go ahead and explore here a little bit. Oh, we have an imp attacking us. We're beginning to feel hungry again. I wonder, can we eat the dead imp? It seems we can. It is giving us that as a suggested option, the letter N for our dead imp. That dead imp tasted terrible. Yeah, I can only imagine. You finish eating the dead imp. So that did resolve our hunger, at least temporarily. But for a very short time, as I expected, because that was not appetizing. And now we've fallen into a pit. You're still in a pit. Okay, we got out. So there we see the carrot symbol for where the trap was. Ooh, leprechaun. He accidentally attacked it, so it attacked us, and our purse feels lighter. We can type the $ to see how much gold we're carrying, 155. So we previously had more. The leprechaun took some of it. Let's avoid the leprechaun. Let's just go ahead and go deeper. Let's see how far we can go with this Aragorn character. Knights and fighters seem to be a pretty good option for being good in combat and not dying too quickly, although we are getting weak now. Weak due to a lack of food. We don't have anything to eat. We do have a potion. Destroyed a jackal, but it did not leave a corpse. What is a cube? A quasit. What the heck is a quasit? You hit the quivering blob, destroyed it. Okay, can we eat that? It tasted terrible. You only feel hungry now. Okay, so we've moved up from weak to hungry, so that's at least a slight improvement. I think you will eventually die if you're weakened too much by hunger, which of course makes sense. We briefly saw lowercase p, which is a piercer. Interesting. We'll go downstairs. Now in this game, you can actually go immediately back up, and the previous level is there. All the levels are persistent in a particular playthrough, so you can see it's all still here. You could go back to visit each of the levels that you previously visited if you wanted to. We probably have some food here. A food ration. Excellent. That food really hit the spot. You finished your meal. Okay, now we're in pretty good shape. This might be the longest I've ever lasted in this game. We're having good luck with Aragorn the Knight. Zombies attacking us. Experience level 5. Another zombie. Picked up a scroll. Now we face a gnome. We destroyed it. We're doing pretty well for ourselves. Ringmail. We're already wearing ringmail. Let's drop that. We're carrying quite a bit of stuff. I wonder if because we leveled up, maybe we've increased our carrying capacity. An orc is attacking us. Aragorn is very good at destroying orcs. Snake misses. Oh boy, got multiple orcs showing up. Picked up some scrolls. So maybe the next time we face some enemies we'll have some fun with reading scrolls. Can be dangerous. Lowercase v is a vampire. Or did I accidentally type capital V? Okay, yeah, lowercase v is a violet fungi. That's not quite so dangerous. Let's go ahead and read a scroll. As you read the scroll, it disappears. Your ringmail glows green for a moment. Call a scroll labeled Thar. Oh, we'll just call that green enchantment, because I don't know exactly what it did. Let's read another scroll. Your armor turns to dust and falls to the floor. Call a scroll labeled Zizaxa, Zozaxa, Zuzaxa. We'll name that one Rust. We'll read another scroll. You have found a scroll of genocide. What monster do you want to genocide? Oh my goodness. That is not a word I'm fond of, but I guess we will get rid of violet fungi. Is that really what we want? I've never faced the violet fungi. I don't know exactly what they do. I'm going to type lowercase a for acid blobs. I'm really not fond of the acid blobs. Wiped out all A's. Okay. Well, we still have another scroll of green enchantment, so when we get some more armor, we can use that. Oh, the fungi is moving. I wasn't sure if it would move or not, but sure enough. Quivering blob. A giant beetle. You hear the howling of the Cononwin. The heck is a Cononwin? Or however you pronounce that. Oh no! Aragorn has died. Rest in peace, Aragorn. You were killed by a giant beetle. May you be mourned by Arwen and all who knew thee. Okay, so now we have 2 characters in our top 10. Let's do just one more briefly. Gandalf. So of course, we have to choose Wizard. Speleologist would be fun too. Hello Gandalf, welcome to Hack. Be careful, new moon tonight. In our inventory, we are wearing an elven cloak. That feels appropriate. We have a glass wand, a silver wand, topaz ring, moonstone ring, clear potion, puce potion. Puce, that's a color word you don't see very often. And a few scrolls, NR9, Elbib, Elo, and Yum Yum. Excellent. We have our dog companion. Oh, and by the way, we can use the call command to go ahead and give our name, or give our dog a name. So, yes. Oh wait, I did the wrong one. I did lowercase c, which is for naming one of our items. And we don't want to do that right now. So, instead, we'll do capital C, and then I am going to move the cursor onto the dog, and then, let's see, it says for instructions, type a question mark. So yeah, use HJKL to move the cursor to the monster, well in this case it's not a monster, but the monster or character you want to name. Then type a period when you're at the right place. That's right. So, whoops. So we'll try that again. We'll hit period on the dog. What do you want to call the little dog? What would Gandalf name a dog? Oh, Pippin. That seems appropriate. Okay, Pippin. Let's avoid the leprechaun. Picked up some gold pieces. Where did you go, Pippin? Don't get too far ahead of us. Now you're behind us somehow. Sometimes the way the dog moves is a bit mysterious. Perhaps they have a faster movement speed than we humans, or wizards, elves, etc. Whoops, you missed Pippin. Okay, we're lucky. I accidentally had almost moved right into Pippin, but I did not hit him. Pippin ate 2 tripe rations. Oh, Pippin, why'd you have to eat those rations? I would have liked those. Oh well. Go down these stairs. Pippin misses the little dog. The little dog is... So there's another dog here. For some reason the dogs are fighting. Hey, let's focus on fighting the imp. Don't fight each other, little dogs. If they were, maybe I misinterpreted something, but you hear the wailing of the banshee. That's not good. Gandalf has died. Oh, Gandalf, you did not last very long. Okay, now what if we want to check out the inventory of the Speleologist? What would be a good scientist name? Well, if I were to go back to my Star Wars and/or theme, we could name our character Luthen. Luthen the Speleologist. Hello Luthen, welcome to Hack. A little dog was hit by an arrow? I wonder if that was from a trap. Probably. I'm not sure though, I don't see it. Anyway, if we look at our inventory, Speleologists start with studded leather armor. We've got a couple of potions, food rations, a pickaxe, and a large box. I did read about the large box. I think it's kind of meant to be along the lines of an ice box for preserving food or dead corpses or whatever. Oh, we destroyed the jackal and there's a ring left behind. A pearl ring. But anyway, the box, according to one thing I read, some people consider it kind of pointless because it's very heavy. So its helpfulness is pretty limited, I guess. Capital B for a giant bat. Where did you go, bat? There you are. Let's go ahead and put on that pearl ring. What ring finger, right or left? Left. So we're wearing the pearl ring, which thankfully does not seem to have been cursed. This bat is really resisting our attacks. Kobold falls in a pit. Well, that's funny. This bat is really stubborn, but now it's destroyed. Scroll. So yeah, let's go ahead and drop our large box. So we can pick up that scroll. So the little dog ate the dead giant bat and the kobold attacked us. Anyway, let's go ahead and get rid of this kobold. Kobold. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce that word. I'm sure some of you can correct me down in the comments. Feel free. And please do also tell me your thoughts about Hack and roguelikes in general. So we knew there was a pit there, so I searched for it until it was revealed. So now there's basically no way for us to safely get to that door. Because as far as I know, I don't think you can disarm traps in this game. Even once they've been sprung once, I think you can still fall into them or get hurt by them. Regardless. Whoops! We almost attacked our dog by mistake. But yeah, forgot about that trap. Speaking of traps, we can test that one right now. Yep. We're almost hit by an arrow. Sure enough, they will continue to go off again and again. Well, that's interesting. I think I left behind an arrow since the arrow didn't actually hit me. Anyway, we're searching here. The HP is slowly replenishing as we search, but we're not coming up with anything. At least we are healing up a bit. Whatever. And And nothing up here? Oh yeah, the pickaxe reminds me that we can, quote-unquote, engrave what you want to write with. We can do dash to just write with our finger, or we can choose an item, so we will choose pickaxe. So you now wield the pickaxe. What do you want to write on the floor here? So hopefully that means we will be doing a proper engraving, but I think it might still be a little bit weak. And you'll see what I mean in a second. The writings, engravings of any kind, they tend to deteriorate pretty quickly. We can write, speak, friend, and enter. We finish writing. So if we step there again, something is written here in the dust. You read, speak, friend, and enter, but you can see it's already somewhat illegible. Every time we go back, it's even less legible. More of it has been destroyed. So it probably was just being written in the dust, maybe very lightly into the stone. Which is a bit funny, but I guess it kind of makes sense. We wouldn't want to spend time doing a serious engraving, but a bit silly. It might seem a bit pointless, and indeed, I think it is just for kicks. Occasionally you will come across spots where something is engraved. I think it's possible that you might be able to come across your old engravings from a former player. And I should mention, I had a player once, or a character I should say, who was killed by a shopkeeper because I accidentally started attacking the shopkeeper and he killed me. And in a later playthrough with a different character, when I went into a shop that was in a similar location, so it might have been in some sense the same shop, perhaps. Perhaps this game does repeat level layouts, I'm not sure. It might have some degree of repeating anyway. I know it doesn't just repeat the same things every time, obviously. But in any case, in that shop, I suddenly found myself getting attacked by the ghost of my previous character. It was very strange. Okay, we picked up a food ration, that's always good. And... whoops, almost attacked our dog. I have accidentally killed my dog before in this game. That is a very sad experience. We have some stairs down. Let's go ahead. What do we have here? A ruined wand. Sometimes it takes a while for the dog to follow you downstairs to a new level. Going deeper again. Facing a gnome. Begin to feel hungry. Come on. Let's check our inventory here. Let's go ahead and zap with our wand. That did not do much. And we're dead. Luthen was killed by a gnome. So, our list of characters grows. Now, what kind of character have we not tried yet? We haven't done fighter or caveman. If we were going to do caveman, let's have a caveman named Worf. Why not? We're wielding a mace. We also have a bow and arrows. We're wearing leather armor. That seems fitting. Worf will name his dog Alexander. Some of you will get that joke. You are splashed by the blob's acid. I hate these acid blobs. Okay, luckily we killed it pretty quickly. Picked up a whistle. We can press the A key, which means to apply or use something. You produce a high whistling sound with that whistle we picked up. I think that whistle will attract the dog if the dog has gotten far away from you. So it can be useful that way. Whether or not you can, in fact, train your dog in certain ways, again, I do not know. I should look that up sometime. Okay, we've gained a level of experience. Worf is doing pretty well so far. Come along, Alexander. Let's go downstairs. We found some gold pieces, an elven cloak, an aluminum wand, and a brass wand. a wire ring, a jade ring, a magenta potion, an orange potion. A couple of scrolls. Green gem. Pippin misses. The dog Pippin was still here. Oh my goodness. So this goes along with what I was talking about, how some things will persist from previous characters. I think that's so cool. So what on earth? I mean, wow. I haven't been keeping track really closely of the layout of each level, so I don't know if it's been literally repeating exactly the same level layouts with each character. I mean, if I had a much better memory, perhaps I would have noticed that. But in any case, it's interesting that sometimes it repeats some stuff from the previous characters. Very, very interesting. Anyway, so I wonder if those items we picked up were the items left behind by Gandalf. That might be the case, because that was very strange also to be picking up so many items as we went down the stairs. You miss Gandalf's ghost. Now Gandalf's ghost hits. How was I to know that a ghost was there above me? Oh, perhaps because I didn't see a dot there. Perhaps that is the hint that a ghost may reside there. Oh my goodness. So now we're going to get hurt by the ghost of Gandalf. And indeed, we're dead. Alas, poor Worf. Killed by a little dog called Pippin. That is hilarious. Okay, one more character. This will be the last one, I promise. So we'll have a fighter named Eowyn. Are you an experienced player? Yes. Fighter. And by the way, now that we are Eowyn, I also... Oh, our poor little dog was hit by a dart. I also want to change our character's sex. There's a way to do that if you do capital O for options. What options do you want to set? Now I happen to know that you can... Well, let's see. I think if I just hit enter, I'll see all the current options. Male, and then not rest on space. The exclamation point stands for not. So that's our current limited set of hack options. If we want to change our sex, we could type female, or we could simply type exclamation point male for not male. And whoops, did that not work? Why is that? Okay, I had to hit enter twice for some reason. Maybe it was allowing me to enter more than one if I wanted to, I'm not sure. But now we see female and then not rest on space. Okay, so we are a female fighter named Eowyn. Little dog is helping us attack an acid blob. Thank you, dog. Okay, fine, we'll help you out. You destroy the acid blob, but we're splashed by the blob's acid. A lot of funny things can happen in this game. I've seen it happen where if you zap with a wand of fire, that the fire might bounce partially back onto you and might burn up all of your scrolls. There's a lot of strange and funny things that can happen. Two-handed sword and ring mail. That's what fighters start with. Facing a bat, we hear some noises. Destroy the bat, experience level 2. When it says you hear noises, I think that might imply that you're hearing combat, like it might be hearing the dog fight something else. Or it could just be that we're hearing a monster somewhere else. The hobgoblin is killed. Got some more gold. Hello, dog. What would Eowyn like to name this dog? Oh, Faramir. There we go. Okay, where to go next? A hobgoblin. Destroy the gnome. Ah, we had stepped into a teleportation trap. Apparently it doesn't show a message for that necessarily, but that surely is what just happened. When we stepped on that trap, it took us to a different portion of the map. In fact, a place we had never been to. So that was interesting. Secret door. Now let's see. Where else can we go? Hello, doggo. Good old loyal Faramir. Picked up a scroll, Andova Begarin. We missed Faramir, that's good. 2 tripe rations. Is a tripe a type of bird? I don't remember what tripe means. A smoky potion. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Eowyn accidentally attacked and destroyed poor Faramir. Welcome to experience level 3. Okay. Not exactly the way that Eowyn wished to gain a level of experience, but sadly that's what happened. I don't want to think too much about what that might represent about the quality of her marriage to the human Faramir. In any case, Eowyn shall continue doing her best to not be overcome by grief. Another tripe ration, that's good. I sometimes type capital versions of the movement letters because that's what allows you to keep moving in that direction until you come across something really significant. There's a couple other ways to do something similar for faster movements, but that's the main one I use. Nothing there. A bat missed us, okay. Destroy the bat. Now let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and go down. We still have not come across a shop or any other unusual type of room in any of these dungeons so far. That's a bit disappointing. I'm also very curious regarding the reoccurrence of ghosts, pets, and items from former characters. I wonder if that only happens for the most recent character, or if it can happen perhaps randomly for any previous character. I do not know. A granite ring. We'll put that on our right hand. Another orc. What is the lowercase h? A homunculus. Ah. You hear the wailing of the banshee. We are down to 1 HP. This is not good at all. We better drink that smoky potion, though it doesn't look very appetite. Whoops. Oof. This tastes like liquid fire. Call a smoky potion, fire water. The homunculus hits, and we're dead. Alas, poor Eowyn. You have joined Faramir in the afterlife. So there we have our 6 characters from this set of brief playthroughs. I hope you can see why I have never made it very far in this game. It really is a challenge, but it's a fun challenge. So I encourage you, if you've never played this, to check it out, and any other roguelike that piques your interest. They're all fun in different ways, and they always provide interesting surprises. I feel like this game in particular seems to produce a bit more in the way of interesting and amusing surprises sometimes. So that is something that impresses me very much about this game. I also love the addition of the pet dog. In any case, I believe we are done for today, so thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and check out all of our links at linktree/goldendrake, including patreon.com/thedrake. And of course, many thanks to all our brilliant, beautiful, and wonderful patrons, including Cinemondays, our most recent patron, Lucy Rose, Lyle R, and Aina the Khajiit. Again, feel free to leave comments below about roguelikes, about free and open source software in general, including recommendations for games and other software that you'd like us to showcase in future episodes of this series. By the way, if you're wondering about any of the music, I have once again been using some Final Fantasy music. This time around, the music is from Final Fantasy VI, originally released in North America as Final Fantasy III. I've also included one or two heavy metal covers of songs from Final Fantasy VI, but these are not covers by just anyone. They are covers by the Black Mages, a band that was founded in years past by none other than Nobuo Uematsu, the composer of, if not all, then at least most Final Fantasy music that you've ever heard. And you can also find online videos of his live performances of some of these epic songs. If you want more details about the music or about the hardware and software environment that I'm using here, please look in the video description. I've got a lot of details down there. So yeah, these first 3 episodes of the FOSS Gaming Extravaganza have featured music from Final Fantasy I, Final Fantasy IV, and Final Fantasy VI. Where will we go with our future episodes, both in terms of what games we'll focus on and what music we'll play, we shall see. But for now, I leave you with this Matrix rain provided by the program C Matrix. And I hope you'll take excellent care of yourself and everyone around you. We will see you again next time.